CHESSMAN in, playing chess every day until I reach 1500 ELO. We are dealing with a setback. This past week, I've jumped from 1180 ELO all the way down to 900. We climbed our way back up. That is chess. Today, I'll be covering my last game I played for today, the Caro Kann. Now, as for the title, how to deal with chess setbacks. It's life, baby. Don't take it too seriously. So, this game, we started the Caro Kann, started e4, c6. Love the Caro Kann, always play the Caro Kann. d4, d5, and then here we got the advanced variation with c5. I now go c5, go c3, knight c6. So, if we c3, we will continue the plan. The whole goal is to break this pawn structure, create a backwards pawn for my opponent, and hopefully win that. I go c6, my opponent goes knight f3. I here take. The whole point of taking on c takes d4 is we are going to create this backwards pawn, which we will eventually target. After that, I now pin the knight. My opponent pins me, and I check. This is not the best move. It's just in the past I've seen people. It's just kind of hope chess, so maybe I'll stop doing that. But if he were to kick back here, I would win the pawn. I will win the bishop, and I would be winning. I would love this. However, that's not what happens. Instead, my opponent does the best move, which is kick out his knight. Now, then from there, where did I go from here? I close the cage. My opponent tries to kick out my bishop. I take, he takes. I now pin the knight. The whole point of this knight is if he were to forget, for example, let's just say he goes here, right? He would be losing. In fact, he was losing because in this variation, you see the pawn take, and now we're up a bishop. So that's kind of my whole goal. My opponent, credit to my opponent. Instead, the moment he realized that this knight is pinned, he takes. I take, he kicks back, and then now we're having a good time. I don't know if I just spoke English. Regardless, so after during this exchange, my opponent takes back with the queen and offering a queen trade. I don't mind a queen trade because when it comes down to the Caro Kann, you get the queens off the board, and you just have a very slow, meticulous middle game. My opponent takes, and I move my knight. He pushes his pawn, and I castle. The whole point of castling, the castling was a mistake. C5 would have been best because here we are threatening to take the pawn and essentially start a middle game like this. I guess that's what the computer wanted. Instead, I decided to castle. My opponent pushes pawn e5. I stop the advancing pawn a6. My opponent castles c5, bishop e3, takes cd, and now we're back to attacking this backwards pawn. I now move my rook to an open file. I think this would have been better. Oh, rook fc8. So this rook would have been better. That probably would have been the best. Yep. c4, rook c3. I'm now attacking this bishop. We're going to start rounding out this middle game. I now move my other rook. My opponent offers a rook exchange. I now take. I push my pawn. The whole point of this pawn is I'm creating a lift for my king. That way my king could have some breathing room. My opponent attacks my queen, or my knight. I move my knight to c6. Oh, I move my knight to f5, and instead, what I should have done in this variation is instead check. That would have been the best move because after t2 moves, I will. I don't know where to go from here. Rook b2 would have been best. Oh, because if he takes, I take. Right? Yeah, that would have been. I guess that's what the computer wanted. I don't know. Instead, that's not what happened. My opponent goes rook a7. The whole idea is attacking his pawn, trying to get it to promote. And I thought about here for a second because I was like, oh damn, he's super close to promoting. I need to play my cards right. So what I do? I check. My opponent moves back. I now threaten the bishop. I figured, hey, by the time if he takes my pawn, he'll be down a bishop. My opponent instead moves. And here I'm very proud of myself. Because then I go knight takes c4, simple pawn. My opponent takes, which allows me to mate. And at the time I didn't even see mate. I was like, oh damn, I'm even screwed. I thought for a second, I was like, all right, what am I gonna do? My opponent has a pass pawn. I don't know if I'll be able to stop this promotion. So what can you do? what's a forcing move with check? I was like, well, if I could check my opponent, the queen in trouble, and I recognize his pin. I've been trying to get better at pins. I've lost a lot of games because, or not even lost a lot of games. I've won games with lower accuracies because I've failed to identify and capitalize on pins. This pawn is pinned to the king, so you'd have to move. And I go here, check. My opponent goes, and then this is mate in 2. At the moment I recognize this pin, I was like, I think this is mate in 2. Because I moved my rook to b1, and the only move my opponent had was to block, and that was checkmate. And just like that, I won my last game. We're sitting at 1037. We are 100 points less than we were last week. I don't know, I hit a rut. I went from, if we go down to my stats, where would I go? If you go down to my stats, you see how low I got. I got to 10th. Here I hit a peak of 1208. I don't know if it'll show it here. My highest rating of 1208, and then I went all the way down to 10,004. My lowest being that in the 900s. But that is life. Thanks for watching.